You know, once upon a time gaming was simple. You'd pick up 1 or 2 titles a year, play the heck out of them, maybe replay them if they were really awesome, and call it a day. But now, games keep popping up on my radar like side quests in an open world RPG. And looking at the stats, it's only gonna get crazier. I mean, in 2024 we had 13,000 games released just on Steam. 13,000, just think about it. Naturally, being a self-respecting gamer, I decided I must play them all, or well, at least all the good ones. So I whipped out those intense lists were more like a spreadsheet, color-coded by genre, difficulty, completion time, you name it. And you know, it just became fashionable to call these lists backlogs. I'd download everything that caught my eye and plan out my next move with military precision. Great plan, right? Well, not really. Before I knew it, gaming felt more like a booking appointments with the dentist. No offense to the dentists, but that's not exactly the kind of fun I signed up for. Plus, building those spreadsheets took a long time. By the time I actually sat down to play, I'd spent half my day browsing Steam like a lost puppy. And Burnout was basically waiting around the corner waving at me. So, why the heck do we do this, and more importantly, how do we stop? Well, let's talk about the why first. Back in the day, if you didn't jump on every big release, you'd be left out of the loop. Remember when the first Assassin's Creed landed? If you missed that hype train, it felt like you'd shown up on a costume party without a costume. Wait, you haven't tried this fancy new parkour game? Dude, you're missing out. Fast forward to now, and it's a million times more intense. And every new game nowadays is an open world with hundreds of side quests, kinda sorta RPG that wants 50, 80, 100 hours of our life. And that's just one game. Multiply it by 5 or 10 big ones a year, plus a bajillion awesome indie games, and you have a full-blown content tornado swirling around you. You get the picture. And the more games you start putting into your backlog, the more cluttered it becomes. You probably know this feeling when you understand that you have way too much clothes than you need. All those t-shirts from 10 years ago, or shoes that barely hold together but you keep them with you for nostalgia's sake. And then under all of these clothes you wouldn't dare to take out outside, you can't really find the thing you want to wear. It's the same here, really. And no wonder we're all stressed out about it. I mean, even the word backlog is so damn stress-inducing. Because according to Oxford Dictionary, it means exactly an accumulation of uncompleted work. The sheer amount of stress induced by it can make your brain go into another Windows update and be unavailable for the next couple hours. And if you have a job, a social life, or basically anything else going on, finishing even one of these modern open world RPG games might take couple months or even more. And I know it's all cool to be blabbering about that from my side, but what's the solution for it? I started thinking about this whole problem while playing a new remake of Dead Space. I did play the original trilogy and I was really excited to play and perhaps make a video on how it changed and what is new. I spent some time going through it on lower difficulty so I can get to the end faster and ensure that my time is spent with the game efficiently. And at that point, I played back the word efficiently in my brain. It felt like the whole joy of playing this game was sucked out of it right there and then. I'm supposed to be having fun, right? What is this efficiency I'm even talking about? So it got me thinking, how can I change the way I look at this? And well, the easiest and the most obvious one is to stop backlogging at all. What I mean by that, it's cool to have all those great games sitting in your list, but I doubt that you would even be able to decide which one to play next, nor will you enjoy the one that is next in your list. Why? Because gaming is supposed to be about what you want to do, rather than becoming another part of your responsibilities. The whole process of documenting and planning your gaming is defeating its purpose, and there are better ways to do it. I'm sure many of you would agree that the feeling of something getting added to your to-do list by itself is very stressful, but it also is unnecessary. That's not what gaming is about, and not only that, in the end you're gonna feel yourself crushed by the sheer amount of stuff written there. And the only thing that will be left to do is to either clean the things you were writing, because realistic time of completion might be somewhere in 2050s, or you need to abandon this list entirely for the fact that it's too long that it loses any meaning. Besides, Steam and other platforms, including YouTube, have defined algorithms, and they are there for the reason. If you watch, wishlist, like or engage with certain content, it will be offering you more of it. What I found for myself is just by engaging with the gaming content I am interested in and engaging with games I like, I don't need to be keeping any kind of backlog. Steam and other platforms are gonna offer you things that you would enjoy anyway, and they usually guess it quite well. If it means that you're gonna miss something, well, You probably will, but if something is so easy to be missed, was it really worth putting on a list anyway? And conversely, if you're really excited about something specific, you would know what you want to play. You don't need to have a list for that. And you know, the problem with having a backlog is that it entirely ignores what you would be interested in right now, and kinda forces you to play what you put on a list some time ago. You just don't need to do that. One of the greatest things that only started happening recently is actually the sense of discovery with games. What I mean is, when there weren't many games, it was rare to miss a truly good one, but nowadays there are a lot of hidden gems all around, because there are so many games coming out that didn't get the popularity or traction. So perhaps instead of playing the next big release, just allow yourself to freely go around the Steam library and play the first thing that really catches your eye. For me, for example, the recent Keep Driving was a big discovery, hitting me with nostalgia over a time I never lived in. You know, I already made several videos discussing how it's useful to get lost in games, such as Skyrim for example, because that's the point where you do what you truly want, not what the game designer or anyone else expects from you. It's the same with gaming industry as a whole. Just be a kid again, pick up the discs from a shelf that you like, metaphorically speaking because they're digital, and run to your PC and play it. Better yet, don't read reviews or watch any videos about it. If you see that the overall scores and review percentages are positive, just discover it for yourself. Appreciate the experiences you are getting in games that you play. Try to stay in the moment and feel the emotions developers try to put into them. That's what really makes this hobby worthwhile after all. There is no real point of writing 100 games in your backlog, the same as there is no real point in collecting those 100 feathers in Assassin's Creed, if you don't really care about Ezio's brother. And in the same vein, there is no point of playing Elden Ring if you're not getting any fun of it, just because it's on your backlog. There are a lot of people who are feeling burned out on this amazing hobby. And if we want to prevent this, we should try avoiding this completion guilt, and just focus on what made us excited about the hobby. You all probably know what I'm talking about. You start a game that's kinda meh, but it has high reviewer scores or high user scores, and it's on your super official backlog, so you power through it anyway, even though your heart's not just into it. And by the time you realize you'd rather be playing literally anything else, you've wasted hours being a miserable completionist. So, let's just lighten the load. Embrace our gamer instincts and remember that picking what we want to play in this moment is what makes this hobby so special. At the end of the day, it's not about crushing a massive to-do list, it's about playing the games that speak to you right now, discovering unexpected gems along the way, and just plain having fun. That's the whole point. If something doesn't bring you joy, drop it and move it on whatever it does. Do that and you'll sidestep the stress, ditch the backlog blues, and stay excited about gaming for the long haul. Happy playing!